notice you were there. Well, today's video we are going to talk about the screenplay. So it's more or less like the movie, but make it a writing, you know? Well, like the script, the screenplay, all this history that we want to tell. For a cinematic screenplay, we have 4 parts, 4 initial parts, because, well, we have a lot here. Well, let me start. The first part, the 4 of these are very important, but this one I think it's essential, and it is the history, okay? If we don't have a history, we don't have a screenplay, and if we don't have those things, well, we have nothing. Next, we have to add a protagonist or characters. A protagonist is a character, but a character it's not always the protagonist. Well, it's like this, like the guide that we need to tell the history. It's like the protagonist is going to tell us context and things like that, okay? It's going to tell us the history. Then we have to add an action. The protagonist has to make an action to make the history. Finally, we have the structure. We don't want a very boring history. The screenplay follows a line for the narrative action or a line for the development. The screenplay always, it's like, okay, what else? What else? What else? Let's continue. We don't want like, oh, there and then there. Continue. What else? What else? As I told you, we have to tell a history by a character that do actions, and the character follows a wish, what it wants. Following of that, we have an example, 2 situations, okay? The first one, it's a man, okay? A man that he doesn't want to have this routine anymore, so he leaves. He just takes his backpack and leaves. Okay, that was very boring, you know? So, the second history, it's a girl. She wants to go to school. She prepares herself, takes breakfast, then she leaves her home. Her way to school, she found an obstacle, and the obstacle was a dog, a barking dog. So she freaks out. What is she gonna do right now? She wants to go to school, but she has a barking dog right in front of her, and she's like, what I'm going to do? So we have like this kind of obstacle, and well, what is going to happen? We don't know. We want to keep watching to know what is going to happen. What is she going to do? Okay, back to the studio. Okay, we're going to see my favorite part. Do you know what it is? Maybe you know what it is, because I think I have the face of this kind of person. We are going to talk about dramatization. How can we do the dramatization for our screenplay? How are we going to tell a good history? We have to dramatize the things that happens. So maybe if I fall, we can do like a little Rosa de Guadalupe moment. Okay, so we add this kind of song. We add like this slow motion, maybe blood or scream, things like that. We have to make the viewers have like this kind of emotion of or maybe make them tense, anxious, excited. A screenplay inspires from real situations or imaginary situations, and we have to transform that to a dramatization, and then it can work for the movies, the cinema, the series, whatever you want. We have two important rules here. The first one is like, well, maybe you have a naturally dramatic situation. Well, for the screenplay, we have to make this even more dramatic, because if in real life it's dramatic, well, then in the screenplay or in the movie we want to show that it's really dramatic, okay? And the second rule is that, well, maybe we have a very boring situation, but we want to tell this history. Well, we have to adapt it, like to tell this history in a way that we make it naturally dramatic. I'm thirsty, I want water from the kitchen. Well, make this an adventure, an action kind of sketch, or a horror kind of sketch, a dramatic, funny, whatever you want. You can make it dramatic, even if it's boring. Next, to dramatize a happening, we have to transform it into a history. Okay, it's different. A happening is like that's it. But to make it a history, we need like this starting, the problems, and then the solution. How can we do that? With a structure, with a determining structure, to also add a protagonist to bring this history to life. Maybe the protagonist have a wish, and then to go there, maybe the protagonist has to fight obstacles, like the little girl with the barking dog. To write a screenplay, we don't want to write this literally. We want to tell a history even in the screenplay, not only in the screen, the movie itself. Okay? So, in this screenplay, we cannot, never write Luis is angry. What's that? What is that? We want to write something like Luis screams and then he kicks the chair and he leaves by shouting the door. It's very different, but with these actions we understand that Luis is angry. But never write Luis is angry. Please don't. But what about the documentaries? Okay, well, it's more or less like the same, more or less dramatic. Well, we have to think these questions for ourselves. First, what do I want to happen in the history? Then, what can happen? Like really happens. What can I do for this to happen? And am I going to take the risks? The fiction screenplay cannot transform and suffer these modifications because it's more close, but the documentary type of screenplays can change even easily. easily, and that is easy to change by the narrative. Maybe we have the same video, but if we change, I know, the music, the illumination, the words, the dialogues, it's different. Now we have the history. We have to make a dramatic tension for the viewers. So how can we make a dramatic tension? Well, with tension, with drama, with dramatization. It's easy, maybe. Plot and subplot. Well, the plot is like these principal objectives, conflicts, and things like that. And the subplots are like mini histories that maybe can also help us to tell the history. In the movie of Thor, we have the plot of Thor discovering the Earth planet, and the subplot maybe it's this professor with the two students, and we also have Loki in Asgard, the king, the queen, the guardian. All of that are like these kind of subplots, and the principal plot is Thor, because well, he's the protagonist, he's the Avenger, it's the name of the movie, Thor. Now we have the characters, okay? We have some type of archetypes, and we also want the viewers to identify themselves with the characters, okay? Maybe in Avengers I identify with Tony Stark, with Black Widow, with Wanda, maybe I identify with Loki, maybe I identify with a villain, a protagonist, a hero, a secondary character, the girlfriend, the friends, whatever. Well, that's it for today. Bye.